written one of South Asia's most inspiring stories of poverty reduction. Let the next chapter be one of resilience, led by its people, supported by strong partnerships, and admired around the world. We stand ready to support Nepal and the rest of the South Asia region on this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, for your statement. And next on my list is Her Excellency Ms. Fatima Yasmin, Asian Development Bank Vice President for the sector. Her statement will be followed by SARC.
Honorable Foreign Minister of Nepal, Ms. Arjurana Deva, Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon to you all. It is my privilege to speak at this inaugural session of Sagarmatha Samvad. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the government of Nepal for hosting this event on climate change, mountains, and future of humanity. The majestic ranges of Hindu Kush Himalayas, Pamir, and Tian Shan have long shaped the culture, spiritual, and ecological identity of Asia. For the people of this region and beyond, mountains are not just an awe-inspiring landscapes. They are also sacred places, vital ecosystem, and essential sources of livelihoods. Yes, these mountains are now at the front line of the climate change crisis. Glacier retreat, water scarcity, floods, and landslides are becoming increasingly frequent and severe, threatening both natural ecosystems and rural communities. Hard-earned development gains achieved over decades by the people, communities, and countries are at constant risk of being wiped out in a single event. The 2024 glacial lake outburst flood in Sikkim was a stark warning of our rapidly changing climate. Unfortunately, it is not an isolated incident. What happened in the highlands inevitably cascades down to the lowlands, farther downstream in the deltas, such as the one where I come from. Sea level rise, floods, and typhoons present parallel risks. This is a shared crisis that demands coordinated actions requiring regional cooperation and long-term resilience planning. ADB's midterm review of Strategy 2030 identified 5 focus areas that will guide our work moving forward. Climate action is one of them, along with others. As of December 2024, ADB's cumulative climate finance commitment stood at $41.9 billion against our target of $100 billion by 2030. This significant investment reflects ADB's deepening commitment to addressing multi-hazard risk in our region. Let me quickly share a relevant example from Nepal. ADB's Building Adaptation and Resilience in the Hindu Kush Himalayas Technical Assistance Project aims to enhance the understanding of multi-hazard risks and strengthen regional cooperation and climate resilience across the fragile mountain ecosystem of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. It supports countries in developing adaptive strategies to address growing climate and disaster risk to critical infrastructure and enhancing transboundary collaboration. Climate change does not recognize borders, and neither should our commitments and actions. The future of Asia depends on a useful response grounded in science, unified policies, equity, and innovation. ADB stands ready to support transformative action through regional cooperation, green technologies, and resilient infrastructure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, and thank you, ADB, for making this whole event a success. I would now like to request His Excellency Muhammad Ghulam Sarwar, Secretary General of SAARC, to deliver his statement, followed by BIMSTEC.
Honorable Dr. Wazir Rana Deuba, Foreign Minister of Nepal, Honorable Ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, Namaste and Assalamu Alaikum from the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC. It is a great honor for me to join you at this important forum, Sagam Matha Sangvad, aptly named after the world's highest peak, the majestic Mount Everest, Sagarmatha, which is not just our shared heritage, but also a symbol of endurance and resilience of Mother Nature. I commend the government of Nepal for convening this important multi-stakeholder dialogue on this critical theme, the climate change, mountains, and the future of humanity. The ecological lifeline today stands at a crossroad. Adverse impact of climate change is clearly visible in our mountains, and our mountains are sounding an unmistakable call for urgent and unified actions. Climate change has turned the Himalayas into both frontline and at the fault line. The Himalayas, which span across multiple SAARC countries, are warming twice the global average. Glaciers are retreating at an alarming rate. Seasonal patterns are becoming unpredictable. Communities are facing increasing risk of floods, landslide, glacial lake outburst floods, water insecurity, rising food insecurity, and forced migration. For mountain dwellers and the downstream populations alike, these changes are not abstract projections, they are the urgent realities. In South Asia, home to nearly a quarter of the humanity, the stake could not be higher. This is not just an environmental crisis, it is a development crisis, a security concern, and a human tragedy in the making. As we confront this growing crisis, I firmly believe that the road to sustainability must be built both on regional cooperation and global solidarity. The shared nature of our geography and the interconnectedness of our climate demands shared responsibility and concerted action at various levels. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2010, the leaders from SAARC member countries adopted the Thimphu Statement on Climate Change at the 16th SAARC Summit. It was a landmark moment, the first time climate change took center stage at the highest level of our regional cooperation. The Thimphu Statement recognizes our mountains, rivers, and peoples are faced the shared threats, and it is committed us to share the response. It emphasizes the urgency of regional and international collaboration on climate change, mitigation, adaptation, and promote climate resilience. The importance of low carbon technologies, renewable energy, as well as knowledge sharing, and the moral responsibility to act not only for ourselves, but for our future generation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let this Sagarmatha Sambhas serve not only as a platform for dialogue, but as a call for action as we move forward on the path of climate resilience, regional solidarity, and sustainable development for our people. As the Secretary General of SAARC, I call upon all the member states and our partners around the world to prioritize, number one, strengthen the regional and global cooperation on climate climate science. Second, invest in the resilient communities. Third, protect and conserve the ecosystem that protect us. Fourth, amplify our collective voice on climate advocacy. Ladies and gentlemen, mountains may divide us geographically, but they also unite us in common purpose. Their waters do not stop at borders, neither do landslides, floods, or shifting monsoons. The climate crisis is indifferent to lines of the map. Therefore, our responses must be unified, science-driven, and rooted in justice and through regional cooperation. We must reimagine the development through the lens of sustainability. We must ensure that global collaboration is no longer optional, it is an imperative. Our future is intertwined with the fate of our mountains. The time to act cohesively, courageously, and collectively is now. Let the summit of Sagarmatha remind us of the height we can achieve when we come together. I wish everyone here a productive and successful Samvad. Once again, I thank the government of Nepal for arranging such an important event in this beautiful city of Kathmandu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now request His Excellency Mr. Indramani Pandey, Secretary General of BIMSTEC, to deliver a statement followed by Simon. Excellency, you have the floor.
Manani Dr. Arju Rana Devba, Honorable Foreign Minister of Nepal, Honorable Minister for Forest and Environment of Nepal, Excellencies, distinguished participants, Namaskar, a very good afternoon to you all. I am honored to represent BIMSTEC at the inaugural Sagarmatha Samvad. I congratulate and commend the government of Nepal for convening this Samvad. The speakers before me have already spoken about the threats and the challenges we face due to climate change. They have also called for concerted national, regional, and global action. A number of concrete proposals have been made. I will therefore focus on the initiatives taken by BIMSTEC to deal with climate change and related issues. As you are aware, BIMSTEC was founded in June 1997 and has been in existence for almost 28 years. It brings together 7 countries of region: Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. It has on its agenda 17 sectors for cooperation, and the permanent secretariat of BIMSTEC is located in Dhaka, which anchors all its activities. BIMSTEC has its own charter and well-established decision-making mechanisms, and it operates on the principle of consensus. It enjoys the requisite political support of all its members, focuses on technical and economic cooperation, and stays away from divisive political issues. The recently concluded 6th BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok imparted a huge impetus to regional cooperation in Bay of Bengal. Apart from the adoption of summit declaration, our leaders also adopted a BIMSTEC Bangkok Vision 2030, the first vision of BIMSTEC of its kind. Environment and climate change has been a key priority for regional cooperation under BIMSTEC. During the 6th summit, leaders endorsed BIMSTEC Plan of Action for Environment and Climate Change, which focuses on 3 key areas: biodiversity, waste management, and climate change. Recognizing the vital need for regional cooperation to protect delicate ecosystem of mountains, mountain economy has also been identified as a sector for collaboration within BIMSTEC. An intergovernmental expert group on mountain economy has already finalized a plan of action on mountain economy, which outlines key priorities including enhanced connectivity, clean energy promotion, ecosystem and environment protection, and development of green tourism and sustainable livelihoods. In order to deal with the challenges of global warming, the BIMSTEC member states have also prioritized transition to green energy. BIMSTEC has adopted a plan of action for energy cooperation and a memorandum of understanding for BIMSTEC grid interconnection. Several dedicated BIMSTEC centers further support our regional climate actions. The BIMSTEC Center for Weather and Climate provides critical weather forecasts and early warning services, and the BIMSTEC Energy Center is mandated to promote cooperation in renewable energy and energy efficiency. The BIMSTEC Expert Group on Disaster Management is currently engaged in finalizing a plan of action to improve preparedness and coordination for responding to natural disasters in the Bay of Bengal region. A Himalayan Science Council is being set up. Further, the BIMSTEC Secretariat is actively pursuing partnerships with the international and regional organizations which are engaged in global and regional climate action with a view to leveraging their knowledge, resources, expertise, and programs for enhancing regional cooperation under BIMSTEC for climate action. In conclusion, I would like to reiterate that BIMSTEC offers an inclusive and effective platform to promote regional cooperation in environment and climate change, green energy transition, disaster management, and other climate change related challenges in Bay of Bengal region. BIMSTEC member states are committed to forging meaningful partnerships and advancing tangible action to ensure a sustainable and climate resilient future for Bay of Bengal region. I thank you for your kind attention. Namaskar.
Thank you, Excellency. I would now like to request Mr. Prema Gamso, Director General of ECMO, to deliver his statement. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Honorable Chair, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, ECMO is pleased to be associated with this event, the Sagarmada Samvad, and would like to thank the Government of Nepal, our host, for giving us this privilege. Let me join all other previous speakers to convey our sincere appreciation to the people and Government of Nepal for hosting this flagship event. Honorable Chair, as the last speaker, I have the privilege of choosing what to speak and leaving out what I don't need to repeat. So I also hope that the alarm bell, the warning bell doesn't apply for me as I am the last speaker. So we have heard all the major issues and what we need to do. So from my own perspective, from my own understanding of what has been said all along, I would like to summarize my statements under 3 sections. The first is a set of facts that everybody seems to talk about and all of us acknowledge. The first of this fact is that the world is facing the triple planetary crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, and air pollution. Second, that these crises are mutually reinforcing, and also interconnected, and they affect everyone. Third fact, that the mountain regions are highly exposed to the impacts of climate change and facing existential threats. Fourth, what happens in the mountains matter and impacts the water, food, and energy security of millions of people living both within and beyond in the downstream river basins. Fifth and the last, that 1.5 degrees Celsius is just too hot for the mountains, and we need to take urgent actions now. So, what I have seen is that we know enough to act, at least by those of us living on this planet. And the science is clear. So what is stopping us from taking actions to save our planet and secure the future of life on Earth, including ourselves? In my opinion, there are 5 words that begin with I's that we do not give enough attention, and also 5 C's that we tend to avoid. In all our gatherings, we have heard conversations around these 5 I's. First is information. In our quest for more information, more evidence, more data, we conveniently do not make use of what we already have, and we do not share. While research should continue and efforts to enhance scientific knowledge should be increased, we need to make effective use of what we already know. Second is institutions. We have enough institutions around the world, nationally, regionally, globally. Third is instruments. We have so many legal, policy, and regulatory instruments to prevent and mitigate planetary crises, from bylaws at the local levels to international conventions and treaties. The fourth is innovations. Again, one of the common excuses we hear is that we do not have enough innovation, enough technology, enough knowledge. But I think we have to make use of all the innovations that already exist. We simply cannot wait for artificial intelligence to come up with the magic solution for our problems. Fifth and the last is investments. Again, if we check the books on our expenditures made on sustainable development, made on environment, made on climate mitigation and adaptation, we will be surprised. Enough investments have been made, but were they made in the right place, in the right time, in the right, in the places where it is most needed and used effectively? I don't think so. Now, let me touch on the 5 C's. We lack communication. While we talk about communication all the time, I don't think we are talking in the same language. So there still exists this gap in communication. We need to improve on that. Second, coordination. How many of us in these rooms, regional, institutional, international institutions and organized, can claim that we have enough coordination? I think we need to enhance our coordination at every level. Third is collaboration. Now we have collaboration, but in the spirit of collaboration is much misunderstood and often constitute a convenient alliance or alliance of parties. Real collaboration in letter and spirit, that is what I wanted to say, is rare, and I think we need to improve on that. Final C is consistency. We need continuity and coherence. Sometimes we tend to take our interpretation of circular economy quite literally. We start something, halfway through we change and come back, and I think that should not happen. The last one is commitment. Commitment at every level, individual, institutional, national, and international levels. Commitments that can be actionable. So to conclude, let me once again reiterate that we know enough to take actions now, and what we can do today with $1 should not be kept in abeyance, as in the next 5 years or few years it may cost us many folds more. The wisdom in the ancient proverb, a stitch in time saves 9, is perhaps more relevant now than ever. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at ICIMOD, we are committed to do whatever we can do to support and contribute to the efforts made by our regional member countries and our development partners. We know our limitations, but we also know that with what we know, we can make significant contributions. So our mission ahead is that we must work together to make sure that mountains do not remain as an afterthought in discourses like this. Thank you very much, Excellency.
Thank you very much, Pemaji, for your very wise words. He is indeed a practitioner of what we are talking about. And this brings to the conclusion our plenary session for today. I deeply thank all the distinguished speakers for the valuable insights, views and wisdoms expressed in their statements. The views and voices will really count a lot in shaping our way forward, our collective action. I think this has been resonated deeply in the session today, that we have knowledge, we know where we want to go. It is a matter of putting our will together and a commitment of sitting down together and really charting the way forward. And we hope this is going to be a place of departure where not only we speak but we really act upon what we are saying. So, and the contents of all this will be reflected in the report of the Sambad. I also would like to thank all the distinguished participants assembled in this chamber for patiently listening to all the speakers and to me. I hope the same level of interest and enthusiasm will remain as the Samvad proceeds through various thematic parallel sessions in the coming 3 days. I hope all of you have pursued have read carefully all the program that has been up on the website, because there are going to be many very, very interesting speakers and parallel sessions. So I hope this morning has been worth the while, especially for all our guests who have come from very far to be here with us today. And I would like to invite you all for the lunch after this, and for all the interesting sessions that we are going to have tomorrow. And I think there is going to be a mountain flight that some of you have also signed up to. And of course, I will see you in the in the closing plenary session also. Thank you, namaste, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Honorable Foreign Minister Dr. Arju Rana Deuba. We now have a press brief by our Honorable Foreign Minister. I'd like to request all our distinguished participants, representatives from the media, to please head towards the Malshri Hall, where we'll have the press briefing by our Honorable Foreign Minister Dr. Arju Rana Deuba. And she'll most definitely be joining lunch post the press briefing as well. To all our distinguished guests, Honorable Ministers, Head of Departments, we'd like to request you to kindly head towards the Chinese restaurant for lunch. And to all our foreign delegates, senior officials, panelists, we have lunch being served at the Terrace Garden Resort. And to all our other distinguished dignitaries, we have lunch being served at Sursudha Courtyard. So we have lunch being served in 3 different places. Our volunteers will most definitely help you guide towards the lunch area as well. Thank you one more time. We have the parallel sessions starting from 2:30, requesting all our distinguished delegates to please be back for the parallel sessions. The main theme being Beyond Mountains, linking mountains to oceans. Of 1.5 degree ambition for preservation of glaciers, and parallel session 2 shall be on connecting highlands to islands, requesting all our distinguished participants to please be back in this very hall for the 2 parallel sessions. One more time, requesting all our distinguished friends from the media to please join us at the Malshri Hall for the press briefing. Our Honorable Foreign Minister Dr. Arju Rana Deuba will be present at the press briefing. So requesting all our friends from the media to please join this press briefing. One more time, the 3 different designated areas for lunch would be at the Chinese restaurant, at the Terrace Garden Restaurant, and at the Sursudha Courtyard. In case of any confusion, our volunteers outside will be guiding you. Thank you very much, everyone. Please do enjoy lunch, and please be back by 2:30 for the 2 parallel sessions. Thank you all, and have a wonderful afternoon ahead.
YouTube